All right. Welcome, my paid and unpaid interns, to From Roles to Reels. I don't know. It's a working title. The cast of Overworked and Underplayed is, we just got back from watching the new Dungeons and Dragons movie, Dungeons and Dragons: Honor Among Thieves. And so we're going to start off with spoiler-free. I want to go around and I want to know, spoiler-free, initial impression. Starting with Marjorie.
I play Amy Ann. Initial impressions look awesome. I love, these big box office action movies. They not necessarily expecting a plot, but lots of flashy colors, make me happy. So I was really looking forward to see how they would do it.
Okay.
Hi, I'm Katie. I play Crystal. And I was super, super excited about this film. I have not seen the other D&D movies, which have definitely received mixed reviews, but it felt like they really cared about their audience, which was amazing. Even from the trailers, I felt like they really enjoyed the people that are passionate about D&D, and so I was excited to see it. And also, anything Chris Pine does, I will be seeing. It does not have to have any context whatsoever.
All right.
Hi, my name is Annalyn Hardy, and I play Taylor Jacobs. Kind of like echoing what you were saying, Katie. I just wanted to watch Chris Pine do that little hoppy thing with the guitar. I was like, that is so precious. I need to see that in theater.
It was good. It lived up.
What up? It's your boy Marcel Hardy, who plays Richard Cox. Trailers came out, and I've mentioned this in another podcast that Alex and I guested in.
Shout out to Savako, Road to Avatar. That
Yes.
was an amazing guest that Alex and Marcel did with Sean, who's the host.
Yeah, it was a great time. And on that show, we discussed how you would incorporate the world of Pandora into the game of D&D. So if that's something that you might be interested in, go give it a listen. It's a good time.
What's extra cool is he was like trying to make the connection between D&D and Avatar, and Michelle Rodriguez is that connection.
Yeah.
Which is not a sentence I thought I would ever say. I didn't think because she's famous for the Fast and Furious films.
Yeah, nothing's stronger than family.
But she does play she's always this tough character, and she's always a tough strong female character, strong female lead, and so I felt like she did just that in this film too. So it was amazing.
From the jump, I was very excited to see this movie. And I also was like, Chris Pine in Star Trek, he's really good at being like the funny guy that's like not funny. So I was like, we're definitely watching this movie.
And I am Alex Capps, your DM or district manager. And I was optimistic going into this film after seeing the trailer. And in the Sivago episode, we talk about the Black Dragon scene specifically, where I was like, maybe they actually researched this stuff and they didn't just throw D&D on a generic fantasy film. So, Katie, as you talked about the character of Michelle Rodriguez, who played Holga Kilgore.
Yeah.
Or as they kept saying, Holga.
Holga. with a gut,
Yeah. Let's jump into the characters. So the main cast of this film, we had Chris Pine playing Edgin Darvis. You might know him from Star Trek, A Wrinkle in Time, or The Princess Diaries 2.
That's where I knew him from.
Princess
Diaries 2. Yeah.
That's
my
the
start.
Anne Hathaway one, right?
Yes. That was my start. And then Star Trek was so good.
So then also joining was Sophia Lillis, who played Doric the Druid. And she's a relatively new actress, but starred in both of the It films, as well as Nancy Drew in The Hidden Staircase.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Michelle Rodriguez played Holga Kilgore. You might know her from SWAT, Battle LA, Avatar, or any of the 30 Fast and the Furious movies.
Pretty much.
Then you had Reggie Jean Page, I hope I said that correctly, playing Zenk Yendar, the Paladin. And you might know him from Mortal Engines, History Channel's Roots, For the People, or Bridgerton. Probably from Bridgerton.
Probably from
Anything like my
Bridgerton.
wife.
Yeah. Dude, I burned for him too. That's all I gotta say.
And then you had Justice Smith playing Simon Amar, who is the bad sorcerer, quote unquote. You might know him from Jurassic World or Detective Pikachu.
Pikachu. That was mine. He was so funny.
Daisy Head starred as Sophina, the Red Wizard, and she also starred in Underworld Blood Wars, Wrong Turn, and Shadow and Bone. And then last but not least, certainly not least, Hugh fucking Grant.
He was
Hugh
so
Grant.
good.
Who played
It was so
Forge
good.
Fitzwilliam.
Yes.
And you know who he is. He's been in every British film that has ever been popular in the U.S. That man is an international treasure.
Yes.
And out of everyone in the cast, he looked like he was having the most fun
Oh my gosh.
the entire time.
Yeah.
Like he, in my opinion, between all the characters, he is the only one who found a good stand between completely hilarious and serious. Like he just always seemed to kind of be the like have he didn't go back and forth a bunch. Like he hit that perfect, I think, note.
He's like everyone's toxic stepdad.
Yeah. He's like, well, it's actually your fault that your ice cream fell out of your ice cream cone when I smacked you in the back and said,
Yeah,
congratulations. You weren't holding it tight enough, kiddo.
You're right.
All right, so characters. Who do we think worked for the film? And does anyone think there were any characters who someone could have done better?
Ooh, someone could have done better. I don't know.
I had so probably for the first half of the movie, I was not a huge fan of Michelle Rodriguez's performance as the barbarian, but it took me probably halfway into the movie to understand what exactly it was that she was doing. And I probably wouldn't have had that realization if I hadn't listened to this other podcast called Quantum Reactor, where they just review sci-fi movies, and they were talking about Bruce Willis in Looper. And it's like, so my original thought was like, oh, she's just playing Vin Diesel in the Fast and Furious movies in D&D.
Oh, okay.
Because I was like, I don't know, I didn't get the emotional, like I just,
Yeah.
barbarians are supposed to be dumb. I didn't get it at first, but then I was like, oh, like Michelle Rodriguez is not a dumb person, so like she is acting right, so she's actually putting on a good performance.
Yeah.
And there was a certain scene.
She did a good job playing a lower intelligence character without being, I don't know what numbers are done.
Oh,
yeah, exactly.
Right,
And
yeah.
it took a certain scene for me to realize that's what she was doing.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and I also liked, I think that it's easy to play a dumb character, like I don't know what numbers are, but I also liked the fact that she played with emotional intelligence, which isn't revealed until later. I'm not going to go into how she did that, but it definitely gave her character multiple facets and sides that I really began to respect as I watched the movie, because I agree with you. I struggled in the first 15 minutes.
There's a particular scene, and I'm not going to spoil anything, but it's not a particular moment a person would laugh during. And during this scene, my wife leans over to me and whispers in my ear, "There's nothing stronger than family." And I bust out laughing in the middle of this theater.
Yes.
And everyone in the theater staring at me like, this jerk. And I'm like, why did you do that?
Speaking of laughing, I laughed probably the whole movie.
Oh my gosh, me too. Yeah.
I've heard people say, oh, there's only like 2 or 3 good like comedic moments. I
No.
thought that
It
the
was
comedy
really-
was good. I
It was
thought
very
that
clever.
the chemistry between the cast was better than most movies I've seen. There is
Yes.
one character in particular that I wasn't very fond
The
of.
druid.
How did you know it was going to be the
Because she was very flat.
She was.
And I think that's what
So
she was trying to do. But
she's
I
one of
loved it
those
too.
kind of like Marcel said earlier,
Uh-huh.
where he said like he didn't get it until the end. Like that last 20 minutes of the movie, Doric's personality changes a lot, and it was a little jarring for me.
yeah.
And it didn't make sense with the film why it changed. Like it was just like she actually had a
Interesting.
personality.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
at the beginning of it, it was just like she's that character that shows up to your game night and it's just like, you don't understand how hard my character's life's been, and I don't trust
Mhm.
anyone, and I don't do this, and I don't do that, but
Yeah.
immediately signs up for this adventure. It's like,
I think they could have benefited from a quick montage of her like getting to where she is. Like
Yeah.
I'm not talking like a 15-20 minute montage. I'm talking like just like how she got to the Emerald Enclave. It could have been like jump cut after jump cut after
Right.
jump cut,
Right,
and
right.
it would have benefited from just a quick why is she willing to join this quest?
Right.
There's a
Yeah.
moment. I still loved her though. I thought she was fucking hilarious.
And
Yeah,
so
it's
the
good.
only
Yeah.
she's the only character to me that like the whole time I was like, oh my god, this is that person at your table that everyone comes and complains to you about. It's like, I don't understand. I don't know how to play with this person. It's like, oh my god, like
Well,
maybe
everyone-
it's
Well,
just
it
me
sounds
as
like they did a
DM.
great job.
Yeah,
Because if you're like,
yeah.
this is that person at that table, then
Maybe
like,
that's
this is-
exactly
Maybe that
it.
was the goal.
Yeah.
I think it was a bit of a miss.
And part of the problem, I think, is that everybody else in the story got a bit of a backstory.
Did
Just
they,
about
though?
every.
Yeah.
Well,
What is
yes.
Simon's backstory?
Well, I'm
Wait.
not saying the entire backstory.
Before, even
I'm
if you
saying-
wanted to answer that, spoiler
Right.
section.
Yeah.
right.
I'm not.
right.
I'm not
We'll
trying
save that
to
for
say that,
later.
but what I'm saying is like everybody gets like a beginning. She is the character that sort of joins later on. Like
Right.
at the beginning of the film, there's an established group of people, and then there's this big cut, and then moving on, there's another person. They're adding another person into an already established group of people, and that
Right.
is always hard.
I think the only two characters that actually had anything resembling a character arc were Edgin and Hulga.
So definitely
I liked
the
Simon.
Simon,
like
no,
Simon,
I didn't
too.
say
He-
Simon
yeah.
was a bad character.
No,
I'm
he
just
had an
saying-
arc,
He had an
though.
arc.
He had an
Yeah.
arc.
He had a whole
He had like
self-discovery
half
arc.
an arc. There wasn't enough room for him to
Yeah,
have an
yeah.
arc.
It's true.
And that's
I will say, so I don't think this is spoilers, but there was one point in the movie that's talking about characters and the dynamics where I was thinking, wait, is that the complete party? It feels like something's missing. And it was at that point, like that was everybody
Yeah.
was there. I was like, there's still something.
Yeah.
It's not like I don't know. It was like an intangible thing. Like they needed like a sexy ranger or something, you know?
They had a
Like
sexy
this-
character, and he was there. And then,
okay. So
On to the
as far as-
spoiler section.
What I was gonna say is,
Let's
running-
get into
as
it.
In
far
the
as
terms
the
of
rest-
Fast and the Furious, we're running out of runway here. We might.
yeah.
yeah, as far as the rest of the cast goes, I'm not saying that Sophia did a horrible job. I've seen much worse in much bigger movies that got way more fanfare than this movie's probably going to get. You know, pretty much any Marvel movie that's come out since Endgame.
Excluding Spider-Man.
Spider-Man,
Spider-Man
No
was
so
Way
good.
They're
Home.
so good.
Was that the one with all the Spider-Man
Yeah.
mans?
Yeah, all the Spider-Mans.
I would love to give them all therapy and hugs.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
need it.
Yeah.
But aside from that one, the cast actually felt like they were at least somewhat enjoying making this film.
Oh, I
Yeah.
felt like they totally enjoyed making this film.
And I actually saw a thing where apparently, like, to prepare for the film, they all sat down and played D&D together.
Of
Thank
course.
God.
What could
This-
they had to have done that? Yes.
I would love, like, why they didn't release that
Or
as
record
part of the
it.
They
marketing.
might. They might.
Yeah,
Yeah.
when it comes out on like
That better be on the Blu-ray. That'll
God,
sell
that would be
some
so
Blu-rays.
awesome.
All right, so moving in to last chance, no spoilers. Overall thoughts when you got to the end of the movie.
I thought it was freaking
I was
rad.
crying.
It was awesome.
I was weeping. It was so
It
good.
was so good. Yes.
I really enjoyed the movie, and I saw a tweet today, actually. Hold on, let me look at my notes real fast. The tweet said that this movie is only getting good reviews because the fans are so starved for a good adaptation of
I,
that D&D.
I don't
Oh.
disagree with that.
I
I saw a review for it, and it had the best title ever, and I think it was the D&D Honor Among Thieves is the most excellent mid movie of the year, and I think that's accurate.
I thought it was a very self-aware movie.
Oh yeah.
And I thought it was a fun movie.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of times we get so bogged down with movies that we want to be super impactful. We want them to be life-changing. We want them to be epic, like Avengers, like
Yeah.
all of the Marvel films up to date. And this one was a movie that was out to have fun. The actors had fun playing the characters. The people watching it had fun watching it. It made use of all of the different types of effect styles. Like I felt like the costume designers and the special effects artists and all
Yes.
of those people really cared about the movie. And yeah, it wasn't this massive epic tale of like world ending. Yes, it was a world ending thing, but like for us, it's not like Avengers or,
Yeah,
we're so
and-
used to that when it comes to action and adventure.
Yeah, and I would like to put an asterisk next to my statement. I still would recommend everyone to go see it.
Yeah, it was
Not
really
every
good.
movie needs to be Citizen Kane.
Right.
Some movies, like last year, Top Gun Maverick.
So good.
So good.
Not a great story.
No.
Not some kind of cinematic masterpiece for script writing or anything like that. Fantastic movie.
Right.
Yeah.
You just had fun watching it. Like,
Yes.
why do people still go watch Fast and Furious movies? Same concept.
I find myself asking that question
yeah,
every year.
it's because they're fun. Like,
They're
yeah,
fun.
you know
They're
that
superheroes now.
The
Quite
hero's
literally
gonna go home.
superheroes.
He's gonna have a fam. Like, he's
Yes.
gonna. Like, you know that you kind of already have an idea of the outcome. You're not worried. It's not a high stakes
Yeah.
film. But it is. Somehow it's a high stakes film, but it's not a high stakes
Look,
film. But
I just
like,
can't wait to see how Vin Diesel is going to make Jason Momoa part of his family.
This
I
is
That's
cannot
what
wait.
happens
And
every
A
I'm
Fast and the
excited.
Furious
Yeah.
review.
Hey, anything that has Michelle Rodriguez in it has to be.
It is so
Right,
good.
right.
Oh my gosh. I really enjoyed so much of this movie. I went to see it with my two brothers who are really into D&D, like have been for years and years. And they, I mean, know more about the game than I ever will probably. And they were laughing their asses off. They're like,
Right.
oh my God, there's this thing, XYZ. Uh-huh. It was great that we had the theater to ourselves because we were very loud the whole time. But oh my gosh, it's so great. I can't wait anymore. I got to talk.
Yeah, no. What I was going to
Yeah.
say is that is a perfect segue.
Okay.
Thanks for listening. If you liked what you heard and want to hear more, we have our full review up on our Patreon for free. You can follow the link in the description to head on over to patreon.com/ownnutpod to get more on our thoughts and which department we think the characters would work in.